Let's talk about the law of assumption and how to use it. And in this video, I'm gonna give you some key principles behind why the law of assumption is working, how to use it, and a very simple breakdown of the best way for you to use the law of assumption to manifest and create what you want in your life. Okay? I truly believe that once people have a clear understanding of the principle behind the law of assumption, it's easier for them to apply the tool that works for them to create the result that they want. Because clarity is power. And when people know why they do what they do, it's easier for them to do it, but it's also easier for them to understand a new model of reality. And I truly believe this is what the law of assumption greatest gift is that it gives us a new model of what reality is, but also how to kind of hack the reality, how to hack the matrix, okay? And if I were to really break it down, the law of assumption is really the power of beliefs. And before we go deeper into that, if you're new on this channel, if you're watching for the first time, thank you for being here. I just want to take a second to invite you to like, share, and subscribe this video if you want to see more of these kind of videos. All right, let's go. And with that being said, the law of assumption is the law of belief. So what does that mean? If you look at the definition of the word assumption, the word assumption literally means a thing that is accepted as true or certain to happen without proof. Without proof here is the key word, because this is what set the law of assumption so special. You see, we are conditioned to look at proof in our external world, in our 3D. Yeah, we can see, we can hear, we can smell things, so we are always looking for evidences around us. And there is this model of reality pretty much just says that if I can see it, if I cannot smell it or touch it, it doesn't exist. It's not true. Therefore, it must be false. Therefore, it's not real, quote unquote. Okay? But this model of reality shows you that, look, you cannot just wait to be like, oh, I'm gonna believe it when I see it. But you must operate from a paradigm of believing is seeing. And this simple change makes a massive difference. Because you understand that everything around you are nothing more than assumptions that have hardened into fact. And an assumption is nothing more than a belief, because if you look at your definition right now of the outside world, you look out through the windows, you see a world, you look at the economy, you see at your country, you look at your city, your neighborhood, you have assumptions all around you. Maybe it's dangerous, maybe it's a difficult world, maybe you're struggling to survive, maybe everything is going to fuck. Maybe you're lucky, maybe life is supporting you, maybe everything's always working out for you. Regardless of your definition of what you see behind you and around you, it's nothing more than an assumption. And that assumption is creating experiences. Experiences that gives you evidences. Evidence that you can hear, smell, touch, that reinforce your model of reality. And this is so key because you have assumptions about the world, about your family, about your parents, about yourself, about everything. And your assumptions about yourself, they're nothing more than assumptions that became convictions. So you know yourself to be a certain way. You have identified with that way of relating to yourself for so long, and you're getting the evidences, you're getting the manifestation, the experiences over and over and over again to perpetuate. See, this is who I am. See, this is my life. See, this is always happening. See, this is how things are. This is my reality. But reality is so subjective, and they come from your assumptions. And this is why I'm spending a bit of time here, because this is so important to understand, is that your reality right now, as it is the fruit of all the assumptions you've created up to here and now. The good thing is that we can break those assumptions, no matter how true we think they are. For example, one of the most famous assumptions that has been broken was the 4-minute mile by Roger Bannister. Everybody in the world, the scientists, everybody was telling it is impossible. It's physically, humanly impossible. This is a barrier. This is how much we can run. And 4-minute mile, impossible. And then this dude comes along, smashed it, okay? Smashed it because in his mind, the assumption was, it's possible, I'm gonna fucking do it, I'll be the first. And he did it. And I think that between like 30 days or a very short amount of time after that, 7 more people broke the 4-minute mile. And all of a sudden, people were like, shit, if he can do it, I can do it too. So the assumption, the conviction that everybody had around that subject shattered. And it opened up possibilities. And people started doing it. And today we are, so much ahead. And it's the same with everything that you see around you, but it's the same with your life. If you want to change your life right now, you must look at what are the assumptions that you have that are no longer serving you, that are perpetuating certain patterns, certain events, certain results that you are sick and fucking tired of having in your life. Because those assumptions, if you keep them, oh, maybe I'm a slow learner, this is not happening, I don't have enough money, and you're living that scarcity mode, whatever you may be at, I strongly invite you to look at all the assumptions that you have. And how do you do that? You learn to observe the thoughts that you have. That's why I love self-awareness. And I think that the law of assumption and self-awareness go hand in hand together. Because if you're not self-aware of yourself, i.e. you don't have a discipline of mind to be able to observe yourself, you're not going to be able to use the law of assumption to its full power. Why is that? Because subconsciously, you're going to be thinking, imagining, and creating the same old shit that you've been habitually doing for decades or so long. So self-awareness is to be able to step out, observe, oh, that's a real thought I have. Where is that belief coming from? Where is that coming from? What is that story about? And as you do that, you start to break the bond and the power of those old stories they have over you, but also it gives you the possibility to start applying the law of assumption. And we're going to talk about the process now, but to start applying the law of assumption to work for you and generate a new pattern, new result, creations, and manifestations in your life. Okay? So understanding this, you have to understand that all of the assumptions that have become convictions that are being manifested in your life right now, they live in your subconscious mind. So Neville Goddard used often the male-female metaphor in this case to represent the relationship between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. He says that the conscious mind is just like the male, okay, that as a seed that impregnates the woman, and then the subconscious mind, the woman takes it and the body starts to create over 9 months a baby, and then when the time has come, she gives birth to that child. So if you look at that metaphor that Neville Goddard uses a lot, is that your conscious mind is where everything starts. You want something, right? You have a desire for something, you have a craving for something, you have an objective, something you want to create. So your conscious mind allows you to think greater to what's happening here. You can hit pause and be like, you know what, fuck everything around me, it doesn't mean anything. Let me think greater. What do I want instead? What do I really want? Okay? And I have some videos on this channel to help you answer this question if you're struggling. But understand that your conscious mind is the goal setter. And as you use your conscious mind, and we're going to talk about this in a moment, to impress on your subconscious mind what you want, the assumption that you want, and the belief that you want in your subconscious mind is going to take that seed. And then there is the nurturing, the growing. And as Neville said, every seed has its own appointed hour. Consciously, you will not know what hour it is. You may have a preference, you may have a liking, you may want it fucking now, but it may take a little bit of time, it may take a long time, it may take different amount of time, but it will come in a way that's perfect for you. And often in my personal experience, that is just my personal experience, is more like the more convinced I am about the assumption, about the thing that I want, and the more detached I am, meaning the more I've let go of how it's going to come, the faster it comes. Yeah, that's my personal experience about the time frame. Now, this is the thing, right? Consciously impress your subconscious mind. That assumption hardens into fact, create and generate the outcome, the life, the result, the manifestation that you want. It's as simple as that. That's why I said that the law of assumption is nothing more than using the power of beliefs. So then we go to the question is, how do I do that? How do I break down this process? Okay? And in my channel, I talk a lot about power of thoughts, the power of your mental conversation, the power of visualization. So there's many different techniques. And I'm gonna give you one right now. It doesn't mean that it's the best one. It doesn't mean that it's the right one for you. You try it, you experiment it, you apply it, you make it your own. It's one that works for me, okay? You have to also understand that no matter what technique you apply, it all achieves the same purpose. It's to impress your subconscious mind with what you want, okay? Now, here's one way to do that. You need to be very clear about what you want. Consciously, this is what I want. The more detail, the better. And then it's all about conveying that idea in your subconscious mind. So personally, what I like to do is that once I have my clear picture in my mind, this is the thing that I want, I ask myself this simple question. If I already had this thing now, what would I experience? How would I know I have it? What would be different? What kind of thought would I have? How would I feel? And I close my eye and I create a scene. I create a scene that represents me in possession or doing the experience, having the thing, it's done. Yeah? This is what Neville Goddard said, the wish fulfilled. So you go to the end state and you experience in your imagination the desire being fulfilled now, and you just live. So sometimes it can be a congratulation, sometimes it can be just experiencing the thing. Maybe you manifested a car. So in my case, about 7 months ago, I bought a bike. So I was visualizing myself driving in the roads here, going through the traffic, going and enjoying myself and being safe and feeling the bike and moving through the traffic. That was one of my visualization for getting the bike and the driving license. Okay, so just a few different examples. If you're trying to manifest a sum of money, maybe you see the money in your account. Maybe you're counting it if you feel like it came in cash. Or maybe you're spending that money because maybe you're manifesting the money for something. Or you're simply already enjoying that experience. Whatever feels most natural to you, because I cannot answer that question for you. So this is where you use your wonderful imagination and you let it come and bring the picture, okay? And as you go through that visualization, you simply allow yourself to feel as much feelings as you can and as much senses. Maybe you can hear voices of people around you. Maybe you can feel the wind on the bike. Maybe you can experience something. Yeah? So if you can involve your senses, it involves your subconscious mind to really feel like it's done, it's happening now. And the key here is this: your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And this is fundamentally so important. So as you are in your mind, in your visualization, in your imagination, seeing yourself there, actively immersed in that experience, living it now, your subconscious mind takes it on. Yeah? And this is where the seed has been planted. You might need to repeat that, because repetition is what's going to create that sense of naturalness, is what's going to feed that seed, but is what's going to impress your subconscious mind even more. Because this is so important, because those two steps are extremely simple. Yeah? You can use those two steps, or you can use affirmations, or you can use scripting, or whatever you feel resonates most with you and works most with you. But then once that is done, you open your eyes, you go back to your world, you need to make sure that you use that self-awareness we talked about earlier and remain committed and consistent with that new state of mind. So for example, if we go back to that, getting that bike, for example. 1 second you're driving around the street and you're having a good time. You cannot spend the rest of the day telling yourself, oh my God, I'm never going to pass this, or it's too expensive, I'll never find the money for the bike, or all these kind of things. So you have to remain consistent in your thoughts, in your attitude, in your feelings toward what you want, because otherwise you're assuming something completely different, and your mind is never off. Your mind is always listening to what's happening in your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind takes it on. So if you're trying to manifest some money or some success, and for 10 minutes in your visualization you feel rich, you're buying the things that you want, you're having that large lifestyle, and for the rest of the day You feel scared as fuck to spend any money. You feel scarcity every time you spend money. You imagine and you keep on trying to manipulate how money is going to come. You're back in the old self. You're back in the old assumption. You're back in the old momentum. And this is where most people fail. And then they go on, you see, the law of assumption doesn't work for me. I'm a poor manifestor. This is not working for me. I don't know the right tool, the right knowledge. And they keep on assuming again in their mental conversation that they miss something, that they lack something, that something is not working for them. They go into that victim state. And there is nothing more disempowering than going in a victim state, because you are not a freaking victim. But if you keep on assuming you are a victim to the environment, to people, to the economy, to this and that, you'll be experiencing that because your assumption will harden into fact. And the law of assumption is always working. So yes, you need to discipline your freaking mind. Personally, I love my morning meditation because it allows me to create that awareness. It allows me to practice being detached from the thoughts, replacing the thoughts, revising those thoughts. And if you're new to all of this, it might feel overwhelming because maybe you've never paid attention to what goes on in your mind, to what you imagine in your mind, to the meaning, the stories, and the thought that goes in your mind. So be kind to yourself. It's okay. You have a tremendous creative power. But realize that if you are new to this law of assumption, it's a skill. It's asking you to relate to reality in a way that is completely different to what you most likely have been conditioned your entire life to do so. So take it one step at a time, because one step a day can take you a long way. Take yourself where you are. Look at the tools. The most important is to remain consistent with anything you learn, to apply anything, to remain consistent with it, and to each day overcome the old self, the old thoughts, no matter how much they're bombarding you with your 3D example and the old beliefs and the old thoughts and the old stories and the old emotion, is to simply rise above it one more time. And if you can do that, I guarantee you that you will see phenomenal evidence, phenomenal result in your life. And every time you do that, you have some form of evidence, some form of conviction, some form of confirmation that the law of assumption is working for you. So this is my simple process of how to use the law of assumption and the core underlying principle behind the law of assumption. So I really hope this is valuable. I hope you've taken some great things and you're gonna apply those things in your life right now. I wanna keep it extremely simple. Know what you want, imagine it, feel it, experience it in your imagination, and remain consistent with that affirmation all day long to the best of your abilities. And if you do that, you will see the result. Let me know what you think down in the comment. Thank you for watching this video. As always, like, share, and subscribe. It helps grow this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.